Hello everyone, welcome to the moon in the second house of your chart. The video is good for you if the moon is 2 houses away from your ascendant in this way. Can also be looked at generally in the D9 Navamsa. If you have a Western chart, make sure you have sign for a house system. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to sub below. Let's begin. What then is the second house in your chart, everybody? This is the house of your security, your possessions, everything which you own, your accumulated wealth itself. It also represents your family tradition and the situation of your very early upbringing. It tells us a lot about your family of origin, therefore, and a situation about your early security emotionally. It's a very emotional and possessive house. It also represents everything that makes you feel secure in life, including your moral values. How you speak is also seen from this house. There's something about the way you look as well, your face, your mouth, the way you present yourself as a visual image, if you like, selfies. They actually come from the second house. The second house is your throat area and everything to do with illnesses connected to that area. The second house specifically, though, represents what you nourish yourself with, the food which sustains you in life. This is why it is a Marika house, because if we do not eat well, we can actually create disease for ourselves. So food which we take in, nourishment which is good or not for us, is also shown by this house. And who is the moon? The moon is known as Chandra in the Vedic system. He's the most gentle of all the grahas. He sees no enemy. He is friendly to all. He rules the fourth house of the chart, the mother, the land, the country, and the home. He gives, therefore, a feeling of belonging, security, inclusivity, and happiness. He represents a DNA program in every cell of our body from which we will carry out our karmas in this life. He is also responsible for our food and our nourishment, indeed for the very air that we breathe. He therefore represents the very health of our body and our longevity. He is, of course, Manas, the mind. Therefore, he has everything to do with our impressions of life, our memories, and indeed our emotions. So how will the moon in your second house do for you? Well, first of all, the moon is not really stable in this second house. Because it's a house of early security, you'd think the moon would be very happy to be here. But it is a fixed house. Actually, it's linked to Taurus, natural zodiac. And the moon is a fluctuating and fickle planet. So the moon actually can cause some disturbance in this house, though there are also favorable factors. The past life karmas of the moon are shown by the sign. So it's very important to understand moon karmas because they will drive the success or not of this second house moon. Check the video on my channel, Moon Karmas in all signs. I will link below and at the end. And of course, the moon is such an important planet that a whole chart is drawn up from the position of the moon, and understanding that will also release to you extra information about this second house moon. Check again the video on my channel, the moon chart. I will also link below. First thing is the moon is the mother. In the second house of nourishment, it should be good for the nourishment and care from the mother. And that is definitely there. Mother can be definitely caring and providing for you. But here's the thing. The slightest affliction, and there is some inconsistency in the early home environment, that affects you receiving nourishment from the mother. Stronger moon is by sign and good benefics with the moon, that will change it. But still, there is a difficulty connecting sometimes with the mother shown here. Sometimes change in mother or substitute mother even can sometimes be seen because the moon is placed in the 11th house from the 4th house. It's a very strong emotional connection though to family history with this moon here, because moon is our mind. Your mind is very connected to your ancestors actually, and some of the ancestor karma is definitely strongly manifesting in this lifetime for you. I think for sure for everybody, the moon shows fluctuating factors connected to your wealth. This is a house of wealth and permanent assets. Moon here, whether a bright or dark moon, either way, shows fluctuation because the moon is fickle and changeable. So you can have good wealth if moon is well aspected in strong sign and second house lord particularly is doing well for you. But still there will be many fluctuations, many ups and downs. You are emotionally connected also to your money. And so this can have strange effects. Sometimes you become almost miserly, holding on to things, very frugal, how you live your life. And all of a sudden you just go into spend mode. It's spend, spend, spend with complete extravagance even sometimes. The second house is the face which you show to the world. As I've said, it's your selfie house. It's how you present yourself in your most favorable light. And the moon is the public. So moon second house wants to look good in public. Moon in second house loves popularity, needs to be liked, needs to be approved of by other people. It's not totally negative because the moon in a second house likes to feed and to nourish other people too. You really care about other people, care about bringing people together. But at the same time, this desire to be liked can have a negative effect when there are afflictions, particularly when Rahu, Ketu gets involved with this moon. You can even find that you're not being completely honest with other people because you desire for them to like you so much. Now, the second house is eating, of course, and the moon is food. So food is definitely big in the life of anybody with the moon second house. It's not boring to you. It's a very emotional connection to food. You can be a cook. You can go to all the best restaurants. It can manifest in many ways. But one thing for sure, food is never a simple thing. It isn't just about fuel for your body. It's an emotional thing. So definitely there can be sometimes eating problems, weight issues. These can be seen. Sometimes even addictions can be shown, like drugs and drink, etc. But the moon generally has that fluctuating factor that these things don't often go too deep. Generally, they have emotional factors connected. So with some help, all of these addictions and weight issues, etc., can be overcome. Now, the second house is speech, and the moon connects you to the public, to deep emotions that other people have. You know how to emotionally connect to other people. You say what they need to hear. This can make you a very charismatic speaker sometimes. On the other hand, with a poorly placed moon and affliction and second house lord afflicted, you can be confused in your speaking and people sometimes can't even really understand what you're saying. That would be real affliction, however. The seventh aspect of the moon here is onto the eighth house, a house of other people's assets, spousal assets, and the continuity of your marriage. Now, an afflicted moon can affect relationships deeply here. There can be deep emotional disconnection with a spouse. There can be easy connection to other people, creating infidelity, even in the worst case situation. The most important thing is that you find it difficult to get the balance right with spousal finance. Sometimes it just doesn't work, and you need to find a spouse who can understand your spending habits and work very harmoniously with them. Otherwise, there's going to be issues. But in business matters and joint business factors, it can be fluctuating for sure because the moon will always show ups and downs. But the moon reads the public mind very well here. You can serve what the public wants. You can go into restaurant business, food business, drink business. You can even do counseling, anywhere where you are nourishing the public, giving help and giving care to people generally, particularly face-to-face, can be very successful business. The 8th house rules secret matters as well, of course, as does 12th house. So the moon aspect in the 8th house in this way can bring secretive factors into dealings with other people. You must be as open as you can with other people, not being afraid to show your hand, to be completely honest, because any underhand factors can come home to really damage you actually. And relationships, spouse may be even secretive. It can go either way. Of course, your mind, the moon, is attracted to the 8th house factors like occult, astrology, etc. And this can be excellent because you can have a deep intuitive understanding. Once again, you can nurture people through your knowledge of these factors. And finally, a strange factor about the moon second house is that you are almost connected to emergency situations ruled by this 8th house emotionally. You seem to come into your best place when there is an emergency. You are able to help people, nourish people in their hour of need. You could become emergency doctor, nurse, counselor, trauma counselor, any of these things, because the moon connects to these situations with enormous empathy. Check the karmas of your moon sign up on your screen now, moon karmas in all sign, and also, of course, please check the secrets of the moon chart. Goodbye for now, and God bless everyone.